What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to Around the World with Steven. Welcome if you're new, and if you're returning, I appreciate you. What's up, worldies and travelers? Today we got a good one for you. Salute to all of you watching me and to those passing by. I appreciate you all so much. Yes, today, we have a very good one for you. It's from Dark Asia with Megan. And it says, nobody talks about him out of fear. So here we go. Philippines' worst cult leader, Apollo Quiboloy. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, but that's how best I can say it. Now, if you know about cults, you know there's a lot of manipulation involved. There's a lot of groupthink and a lot of fear induced into cults. It's fascinating because there's a lot of people from different backgrounds and different walks of life that tend to think the same and are tend to be manipulated the same way. That is fascinating to me. Like, how can't 2 of you, 3 of you, 4 of you, 10 of you realize, no, what we're doing is wrong? Oh, this whole thing is backwards. But one person believes, the next person believes, 10 people believe, 20 people believe, 50 people believe, and they form a cult. And they worship the cult leader. And this leader is so feared that nobody talks about him. We are going to react to him since Dark Asian with Megan is going to talk about him. Salute to Dark Asian with Megan. Thank you for the story. Please like, share, subscribe, and join our Discord. If you have Discord, search for ATW Vibe Zone. ATW Around the World with Steven Vibe Zone. That is our community. Come join. Let's have fun. Let's talk about these cases. Let's talk about other cases. Love you all so much. Let's get into this.
From August to September 2024, Davao became the center of a showdown no one could believe. Thousands of followers flooded the 30-hectare Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound, locking arms, chanting, trying to block an army of police raiding the place. Hidden underground was no ordinary man. It was Apollo Quiboloy, a preacher with a massive bounty on his head, FBI agents on his trail, and enough political power to move entire crowds with a single word. This wasn't just another criminal case. This was the fall of the man who called himself the appointed son of God.
Isn't it fascinating that every cult leader tends to have this grandiose opinion about themselves? They're either God, they are the second coming of Christ, they are the appointed son of God, they are the only way to God, they are something that puts them on this pedestal that a lot of people tend to fall for and follow. Isn't that fascinating? Like, it is crazy to me. And he calls himself the appointed son of God. The picture right there is scary because all those standing behind him seem like nicely put together women. They don't look like crazy women. How did he manipulate all these people? Let's find out.
This is the story of Pastor Apollo Quiboloy. Now let's rewind a bit. Back on May 7th, 2005, news broke that shook the nation. A female lawyer had filed a lawsuit against the Kingdom of Jesus Christ and its leader, Apollo Quiboloy, claiming they had brainwashed her 19-year-old daughter, a follower since 2004. This case caused an uproar. After all, Apollo wasn't some unknown preacher. He was famous, a national figure with thousands of followers from every corner of the Philippines.
Now, that is scary because once somebody amasses that much following and is known throughout the country, that is what makes them powerful. That is what makes them evade justice sometimes. That is what makes them untouchable, because the beginning of the video, the preface says that there were police and humans shielded the leader. That is what happens almost all the time. Now, a 19-year-old girl trapped and captured, brainwashed. Truth be told, I don't know if that would hold up in the law, like, oh, this person brainwashed my kid, and since she's 19, she's above the legal limit 18. I don't know for Philippines though, but in the US, 18. I don't know how that if you can prove somebody being brainwashed. But if you can, that's fantastic. But I don't know how that holds up. But that is scary. That is really scary.
But without solid proof of brainwashing, the police couldn't touch him.
Right.
Fast forward to 2008, the tension around Quiboloy didn't die down. It only grew darker. In April of that year, the New People's Army, the armed wing of the Communist Party, accused Apollo of something horrifying. They claimed he was behind the killing of Datu Domingo Diarag, a Clatabagobo tribal leader, because he refused to sell 2 hectares of his ancestral land, a piece of land right next to Apollo's walled prayer mountain in Tamayong, for 50,000 pesos. According to Diarag's widow, Apollo's men didn't just offer money, they made threats. They even put a 20,000 peso price on her husband's head. It was brutal. Many stepped forward to testify, but Apollo, he denied everything, called it all lies and baseless accusations. But the storm was far from over. On November 18th, 2021, the U.S. dropped a bombshell. A federal grand jury issued a superseding indictment, not just against Apollo, but also 2 of his top aides. They were charged with running a sex trafficking operation, forcing girls and young women, some as young as 12 years old, to have sex with Apollo under.
You see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, fine. You believe somebody is quote unquote the second coming of Christ, or like you believe somebody is so religious that they are what? They're God themselves. Things like this should be a red flag. Why are they touching kids? We're all in a group. Why are they touching kids? You find that story cutting across a lot of cults. They select kids. They choose kids to do bad stuff with, impregnate people that are not supposed to be impregnate, people that are supposed to be in school, kids that are supposed to be in school. But they still have following and have people who defend that. And that is where I draw the line. I don't care how manipulated you were. I don't care how brainwashed you were. If he touched kids and you are able to support that, you need to be in jail. You need to get some counseling and some therapy and thrown in jail for that.
Threats of eternal damnation. And that wasn't all. They were also accused of labor trafficking, bringing church members into the U.S. on fake visas and forcing them to beg for donations on the streets.
Oh my goodness.
Donations that didn't go to charity, but instead funded Apollo's luxurious lifestyle. And remember, this wasn't some fringe cult leader. Apollo Quiboloy was a household name, known across the Philippines as the president's spiritual advisor. So who exactly was Apollo Quiboloy? And how did he get so big, so powerful, that thousands would risk everything just to protect him? Apollo Carreon Quiboloy was born on April 25th, 1950, in Davao City. His family were Kapampangan migrants looking for a better life after World War II. He was the youngest of 9 kids, and his parents named him Apollo after the great Mount Apo. There's a story his mother used to tell, a story that would sound almost prophetic later on. She said that when Apollo was born, a giant eagle landed on the tree outside their house and didn't leave until he came into the world. She said that even though he was born at night, the moment he let out his first cry, the dark sky turned as bright as day. Outside of those mysterious tales, though, Apollo was just a regular kid.
Hey, do y'all believe that story? I do not. Bro, you were in labor. You were in labor. It was your 9th month. How did you see an eagle stand there? Was what? You were push. Oh, is the eagle still there? Oh, push. Oh, is the eagle still there? Oh, Apollo is great. Oh, push. Hey, Pampanga, check on the eagle. Come on, man. Stop playing. They want this grandiose, like, and it's with every cult leader that I know of. Something happened. The rain didn't stop falling. There were 3 thunders that struck the same place. 3,300 birds died. Bats came out of their cage. A lot of things happened when they were born. It's all part of the way they brainwash their following. It's all part of it. Because if there's no mystery or mysticism to how they were born and how they came to this world, well, they'll look normal and ordinary, and that's not what they're going for. They're going for that ego that stood by the tree watching Apollo was born, and then sent the good news to all the birds and the trees, and then they made the Lion King out of Apollo's birth, and all that movies came because of, man, bullshit, bro. Nothing happened. He was a normal kid, period. He's just manipulative.
Grew up healthy, playful, normal. When Apollo and his family first moved to the city, life was tough. Money was tight. Some days they barely scraped by, sharing clothes, shoes, whatever they had. But even with so little, Apollo remembered those days as happy ones. They had a roof. They had each other. At the center were two pillars, Tata, their father, and Sika, their mother. But happiness doesn't always last. A storm hit the family, forcing Apollo to live with his eldest sister, Helen, in Parang, North Cotabato. It was there, under Helen's roof, that Apollo got his first real taste of hardship. He spent 8 long years there, years he later called the toughest of his life. Before dawn, he baked bread at his sister's bakery, ran the store, went to school, then returned home to mountains of chores. Everything had to be perfect, or risk being scolded, even hit. By his teens, Apollo had no time for friends or fun. His life was work, study, survive. But something else happened during those years. At 14, during a trip to Malungon, Apollo said he had his first spiritual vision.
Oh,
He saw
boy.
the earth burning in a giant bowl of fire. He heard a voice, "If ye shall seek me, ye shall find me in my way." He would later call it the beginning of the second coming, the moment he realized he was destined for something greater. Ironically, back then he didn't plan to become a preacher. He dreamed of becoming a nautical engineer or a pilot, but theology school offered free room, board, and tuition, so
There you go. There you go. Theology school provided free room, board, and tuition. Engineering school would have been so expensive that without a scholarship, you'd pay a lot. No, neurotic engineer, whatever engineer he wanted to be in. Oh, which school will provide free board and tuition? Oh, I think it's theology school. Well, I had a calling. He said, "Come to me, my son, and I'll open the way for you so you can scam a lot of people out of there." But come on, man. I've heard so much cult stories that all these things don't faze me anymore. Like, you can tell it's a lie, and I know it's hindsight. I know, but come on, man. There was an eagle on the tree. God spoke to him. Oh my goodness, Apollo.
Apollo enrolled at the United Pentecostal Bible Institute
Yeah.
and graduated in 1972. Religion already ran deep in his family. His father had converted to Oneness Pentecostalism, bringing Apollo and his brothers along. All 4 sons became preachers in the United Pentecostal Church of the Philippines, or UPCP, the biggest Oneness Pentecostal church in the country. Apollo's older brother, Jose, rose to become Assistant General Superintendent. Apollo, meanwhile, earned the nickname the Preaching Machine.
Oh boy.
In 1973, the UPCP sent him to Seoul for the International Youth Corps World Conference. By 1974, he led the UPCP Youth Organization as president. But his rise didn't last. In 1979, Apollo was expelled for unorthodox teachings. He later repented, apologized, and was reinstated a year later as the pastor of Agdao Church in Davao City, one of UPCP's most important churches. Still, trouble kept finding him. In 1985, Apollo found himself under investigation again, this time for arrogance and disrespect toward another pastor. But this time, he didn't wait around to be judged. Instead, on September 1st, 1985, Apollo Quiboloy walked away. He left the UPCP behind, taking his 15 loyal followers with him, and founded his own church, a new kingdom, the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, or KOJC. It started humbly. He preached to a small crowd in the slums of Villamor, Agdao. Their first cathedral was a modest building by the side of the highway near Davao's airport. Locals mocked him. After all, who was this man calling himself the appointed Son of God? But Apollo didn't care, neither did his followers, who now proudly called themselves the Kingdom Nation. And against all odds, the movement exploded. Today, KOJC claims over 4 million followers in the Philippines and another 2 million worldwide.
Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness. 4 million only in the Philippines and 2 million worldwide out of 15 followers. Look, I'm not against Christianity. I'm Christian. All right. I'm not against Christianity at all. I'm just against cults and manipulation and things that like scamming people. Just be a decent person. Be a good person. It looks like the church should have stuck with expelling him or with demoting him or whatever. Because if he thought unorthodox teachings, it means he got so deep that he got members out of his unorthodox teachings. And that is what caused this. Once you found that out, you don't make him repent and come back at all. I don't know. I don't care. Now he has a cult. Thanks to you for giving him a platform. This is crazy. Oh my goodness. Now he's powerful.
On weekdays, they host Bible sessions and prayer meetings. And every Sunday, thousands gather at their grand Sound of Worship event at the Davao Cathedral, a massive celebration of loyalty to the man they believe was chosen by God himself. From the outside, if you didn't look too closely, KOJC seemed like any other church. Prayer services, Bible studies, worship gatherings. To a passerby, it looked normal, but inside, it was anything but. Inside those walls, Apollo wasn't just a preacher. He was a man who claimed divine powers.
Oh,
He told his followers he could control nature itself. During the 2019 Cotabato earthquakes, Apollo stood outside and screamed, "Stop!" into the sky. Then later claimed he was the reason the earthquakes ended. He even
my
told the public
goodness.
they should thank him. When people mocked him, he fired back, saying he let Typhoon Kamuri hit the Philippines as punishment for their doubt.
Nigga, shut the hell up, bro. Look, the typhoon probably hit before he said that bullshit. The earthquake probably stopped or was predicted to stop. Bro, these people think they're smart. We see that in America. These people who have big crowds and big, oh, I'm coming to command COVID-19 to stop. Get away from here. And COVID-19 still persisted. That is all people need to hear. Ticklish ears. They want to hear something so like, oh, mystical, magical. I follow this guy who's magical, can talk to the wind, can talk to COVID-19. Bro, come on, stop playing with me. Sometimes you have to push that to the side and use logic. And you believe in the Bible. Why don't you read the Bible? If you believe in another book, somebody in your religion's claiming something, why don't you match that or back that to your faith? If your faith is saying something else and they're claiming something else, it's probably not true. Because if they're claiming something else and they stand by it, they wouldn't be in your faith. There will be in another faith that believes what they are teaching. Anyway, Christianity, Islam, whatever faith you believe in. If somebody's claiming to be a member of your faith and is preaching something else that doesn't line up with your faith and your books and stuff like that, you should look at them with, don't just believe and eat whatever they're saying. No.
And it didn't stop there. When COVID-19 swept the world, Apollo took to YouTube, blaming the emergence of the Omicron variant on his U.S. prosecution and public criticism.
Man, shut up.
He claimed the virus would disappear if only the charges against him were dropped.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
the kind of control he believed he had, not just over people, but over the world itself.
Oh my goodness.
And here's the crazy part. Despite how absurd it sounded, millions believed him. His influence only grew, and it didn't stay confined to the
That is the problem. Bro, that is the problem. How can people like millions believe? How do millions believe this bull crap? How? It's like me turning on this screen and saying, you know what? I am the cause of the heat wave going around in certain parts of the world. I am the cause that there's no rain here right now. And then people believe in me. Bro, do you think he doesn't sit in his own small corner thinking you are all idiots for believing him? He knows you're idiots. He doesn't say it out loud, but he sits in his own small corner saying, oh my goodness, how am I able to fool this much people? Bro, he probably didn't know there was something called COVID-19 coming anyway. He didn't know it. It came, and then he links that to his prosecution and charges and stuff like that. And y'all believed him. Wow, bro. And this is not just limited to the Philippines or a certain part of the world. This is everywhere. In the US, in the UK, everywhere. There are people who are actively deceiving people now. In the name of a church, in the name of religion, in the name of a religious leader. You see them on TVs. They tell you they can talk to the wind. They tell you they talk to hurricanes and stuff like that. And people sit there and clap. Older people, younger people who are supposed to know better. Wow. You believe this bull crap?
the church walls. In 2000, he opened Jose Maria College, offering everything from basic education to vocational training. Soon after, he launched his media empire, the Suarezug Media Corporation, known today as Sunshine Media Network International, or SMNI, the official mouthpiece of KOJC. But Apollo wasn't done. He moved into politics.
Oh, no.
In 2004, he threw his support behind Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. After her win, his name carried even more political weight. By 2010, he endorsed Gilbert Teodoro for president. When Teodoro lost, badly, Apollo didn't just accept defeat. He openly questioned it. Where did my followers' votes go? He was so sure of his influence, he couldn't believe he hadn't delivered the victory. Then came 2016. Apollo threw his support behind Davao City's mayor, Rodrigo Duterte, for president. He even lent Duterte his private jet and helicopter to use for the campaign.
I don't know this Duterte guy. He might be good. He might be bad. I don't know him. And I mean, I wish him success, but because of this idiot, I wish he lost. So he'll be more exposed, but it wouldn't change anything anyway. He has all those brain rots following him. And that's so sad. He's manipulated millions. That's so sad.
Campaign trail. And when Duterte won, the rumors exploded. Whispers started that Apollo wasn't just a supporter. He was Duterte's spiritual advisor.
Oh.
In March 2024, SMNI announced that former President Duterte had been appointed the administrator for all KOJC properties. No proof, no documents, just a bold announcement. And in Apollo's world, sometimes that was enough. Now, at this point, you might be wondering the same thing a lot of people were asking. How did a poor boy from Davao end up with private jets, media empires, and political power? Where was all that money coming from? For years, there were whispers. Maybe he charged some kind of membership fee. Maybe his followers just gave generously out of devotion. But the real story started to crack open when brave survivors stepped forward. Two Ukrainian women, Sofia and Nina, not their real names, came out with horrifying allegations. They said Apollo had sexually abused them, coercing them by threatening them with eternal damnation if they refused. Sophia joined the church at 21. Nina had been with KOJC since she was a teenager. Sophia testified that an older pastor had pressured her into granting Apollo sexual favors, and that she wasn't the only one. There were others. Some of them were minors. Another woman who went by the name Amanda said she was baptized at 15 and then sexually abused by Apollo a year later. When she tried to leave, her school, a KOJC-owned school, refused to release her transcript, trapping her future. A man named Jerome also stepped forward. He said he was forced as a minor to work, to sell, to raise money for the church, and that if members disobeyed, they were brutalized. Jerome spoke about followers forced to smash their own heads into walls until they bled. Others had chilies rubbed into their eyes, or worse. Then came Arlene Stone, a US-based ex-member. She said she was trafficked from Mindanao to Manila as a teenager to sell church merchandise. When she watched a movie without permission, Apollo himself allegedly hit her 60 times. The stories painted a sickening picture. This wasn't just a church. It was a machine built on fear, violence, and exploitation.
Fear. That is what a lot of these cult leaders run their cults on. Fear. You want to essay somebody. Essay. Think about it. He wants to essay the girls and used eternal damnation as a fear tactic, as threats. Somebody who is eternally doomed himself using eternal damnation just to essay you is scary. I am glad that they're survivors. They got out of it. Their eyes opened and they got out. It's sad that they had to go through that experience to have their eyes opened. It's crazy. This piece of shit, Apollo Quiboloy, this trash of a human being, used eternal damnation. It's crazy. And he had stupid elders. Look, at this point, if you touch minors, you don't deserve a lick of respect. I don't care how old that piece of shit is, that garbage, that trash human being is. He's a piece of rat's turd. He's an idiot. He deserves to be unalived. I don't care. You touch minors and use fear tactics on them. Rat's turd has more value than you. And I hope somebody sends this to Apollo Quiboloy, this piece of shit Quiboloy in Philippines, wherever he is. You touch minors?
And finally, in November 2021, the U.S. federal authorities moved in. Apollo Quiboloy and several of his top KOJC members were indicted by a federal grand jury in California. The charges: sexual misconduct involving minors, human trafficking, fraud. Prosecutors revealed how the entire fundraising operation was a scam. KOJC would select their best workers, reward them with trips to North America under fake visas, pretending they were performers. Once they landed, their passports were confiscated. They were forced to solicit donations day and night under the banner of Children's Joy Foundation USA, claiming to help poor Filipino children. In reality, the money funded Apollo's private jets, his luxury estates, and his golden lifestyle. And to make sure they could stay longer in the US, KOJC arranged fake marriages between church members. It was all a carefully built empire, fueled by faith, fear, and fraud. According to the indictment, some of the young women inside the Kingdom of Jesus Christ were forced into what they called night duties, nights when Apollo himself would allegedly sexually abuse them. On February 5th, 2022, it became official. The FBI released a wanted
Good.
poster for Apollo Quiboloy.
Yeah.
He was no longer just a controversial figure.
This piece of shit is not a controversial figure. He's trash. He's a trash human being. He's a mistake to this world. He's a mistake ever being born. He is a mistake. The eagle that supposedly stood on the tree was announcing a mistake being born. This guy right here, this piece of rat's turd right here, controversial figure. He's a stupid figure. He's not even a figure. He's shit.
He was now a fugitive in the eyes of the law. By December 10, 2022, the U.S. Department of the Treasury and State Department imposed sanctions against him for gross human rights abuses and corruption. Every property he or KOJC held in the U.S. was frozen.
Good.
No money, no services, no transactions.
Good.
The man, once flying in private jets, was now completely cut off from American soil. But Apollo wasn't done. On February 21st, 2024, still on the run, he posted a 40-minute audio recording online. He accused the U.S., President Bongbong Marcos, and First Lady Lisa Araneta Marcos of plotting to kill him. He claimed the FBI had placed a $2 million bounty on his head, all because of his ties to Duterte.
Nope. Hey, I'm not opposed to that. I don't care. I mean, if they really wanted to unalive him, I mean, that's cool. It will save a lot of young people their pride and save them from trauma. Yeah, if he gets eliminated. So I don't care if that's true. However, it's not because of your link to Duterte or whatever his name is. It's because of the sinful act, the stupid things you're doing, the trauma you're leaving on young kids. It is because of your actions and your acts. It has nothing to do with Duterte. Or I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, but no, that's what I at least for now, that's what I think. It's your stupidity. So yeah, if they want to unalive you, bro, just for the sake of humanity being sane, please go ahead with it.
Then, almost daring law enforcement, Apollo began posting riddles and cryptic hints on social media. Former President Duterte even chimed in, claiming he knew where Apollo was, but wouldn't tell. Supporters rallied. On March 4th, a mass protest erupted at Liwa San Bonifacio. Followers crying out for justice, accusing the government of human rights abuses against Apollo. The next day, Senator Risa Hontiveros requested the Senate president to issue an arrest order. But Senator Robin Padilla blocked it, defending Apollo as a hero.
Senator, whatever the fuck your name is, man, you are a piece of shit with that pedophile mustache, by the way. With your stupid, hungry-looking face, I think you look like you might do some bad. I think you have to be looked into, to be honest. People who have skeletons in their closets tend to defend people like that. It's like Kanye West defending Diddy right now, because he knows he has skeletons in his closets too. Like this guy defending him and calling him a hero for essaying young kids, for touching young kids and stuff like that, having people come to the US to beg to fund his lifestyle. Dude, I think aside the fact that you look like a heroin addict, I think you're a piece of shit yourself. Senator, with all due disrespect, I don't care. But you're on the wrong side of history, and it's going to remain that way. For calling that guy a hero, you're a piece of rat's turd.
And getting 3 other senators to sign a letter of objection. On March 19, 2024, the DOJ filed qualified human trafficking charges against Apollo and 5 top administrators. No bail recommended.
Yeah.
The courts agreed. On April 1st, the Davao Regional Trial Court denied any delay. By April 3rd, 3 administrators posted bail. Apollo remained missing and now officially labeled a fugitive. Then came August. August 24th, 2024, around 4 a.m., over 2,000 police officers surrounded the Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Davao. After negotiating with Apollo's lawyer, they moved in. Inside, the compound was a fortress, hidden tunnels, underground facilities, a labyrinth built not just for prayer, but for protection. The raid began quietly, but chaos exploded. Tear gas filled the air, church members clashed with police, fists, stones, makeshift weapons. Injuries mounted. 16 people, including 4 children, fainted. One man, stationed at a watchtower without rest, suffered a heart attack and died. On the evening of August 25th, tensions erupted further. Thousands of Apollo's followers flooded the streets, blocking the Carlos P. Garcia National Highway and access to the airport. From a distance, black smoke rose, protesters burning tires in anger. Violence spiraled. Police issued an ultimatum: clear the roads by 3 p.m. the next day or face consequences. The protesters refused. More clashes broke out. When it was over, 18 KOJC members had been arrested for obstruction of justice. Meanwhile, the search inside KOJC dragged on. The compound was massive. Without a proper guide, they had only covered about half of it. Still, they kept going, using whatever tools they could find. They pressed toward Apollo's rumored hiding place, beneath the Bible school. And after weeks of exhausting searches, it finally paid off.
Good.
On Sunday, September 8th, 2024, Interior and Local Government Secretary Ben Harabalos Jr. made the announcement.
Is this your hero? Huh? Senator Junkie? Is this your hero? Is this your God? Look at him. Had to hide with a bulletproof vest, like scared, covering his face and eyes. I thought he could see everything coming. I thought like he had conversations with God and stuff like that. Well, he didn't see this coming, did he? He had you guys fighting for him while he quivered like a coward. This guy essayed kids. This guy essayed kids. If for nothing at all, that should be the reason why he is thrown in a bunker in the jail and the key thrown away. That should be the reason why. He's given a lot of people generational trauma. And whoever's kids was essayed, if their parents were in that cult, they should be arrested for life. Yeah, they should be arrested for. I don't care about manipulation. This piece of shit, look at him. That is your God. That is your hero right there.
Apollo Quiboloy had been captured. Now Apollo's camp tried to spin it. They said he had surrendered to protect his followers from further violence. Even President Marcos called it a modicum of leadership.
My goodness. Well, first of all, you need a modicum of a facelift. And stop being stupid, dog. A modicum of leadership. You're all president is even brainwashed. Bro, he was essaying kids. What the hell is wrong with you?
But the truth, Apollo didn't surrender. He was arrested. The negotiation leading to his capture started at 1:30 p.m. and dragged on for 4 long hours before they finally took him in. Apollo was transported straight to the PNP headquarters at Camp Crane for detention. Later, it was revealed that there had actually been 7 negotiations since August 30th, each time asking him to surrender. Each time, he refused, until he had no choice. The standoff had left scars. More than 100 people were injured. 60 police officers were hurt. At least 54 KOJC members had to be hospitalized, some from injuries, others from heart issues and anxiety attacks. Charges piled up too. The police filed cases against 29 male KOJC members arrested during the highway barricades. Each faced up to 3 separate complaints: obstruction of justice, violation of public assembly laws, and assaulting authorities. They were later released on bail. The day after Apollo's arrest, his team immediately requested house arrest or transfer to a military facility, claiming security concerns. The court
Shut up. Shut up. All those idiots in his team, you have no say now. You protected this idiot. You protected this pedo, this PDF file. You protected this PDF file. Look at his stupid face. Like clay dough. Like clay dough. This guy essayed kids. What a horror. Look, the horror essay is horror. But imagining this face laying on top of you, essaying you. You close your eyes, you're seeing flashbacks. You open your eyes, you're seeing this. You're seeing this alien character laying on top of you. You a piece of shit. Apollo Quiboloy. Your birth was a mistake, period.
court rejected the request. Meanwhile, the 5 KOJC administrators pleaded not guilty to charges of human trafficking and sexual abuse. As for Apollo, he faced serious consequences. And then Apollo's health started to crumble. After months
Thank God. I am so happy. Please crumble slowly and painfully, you little idiot.
in detention, he complained of chest pains, arrhythmia, atrial fibrillation. He
Yep.
was treated at the Philippine Heart Center from November 8th to 16th, 2024. While there, he was also diagnosed with a serious dental implant infection that had spread to his jaw.
Thank God.
His hospital stay extended until November 27th. Then, just as things seemed to stabilize, he fell ill again.
Good.
On January 18th, 2025, Apollo was hospitalized once more, this time for pneumonia.
Great news.
After recovery, he was returned to the Pasig City Jail on February 12, 2025. As of now, Apollo still hasn't been sentenced. Now, you might be wondering, if Apollo Quiboloy was wanted in the United States, why hasn't he been extradited? Officially, the answer is simple. President Marcos announced that the Philippines would not be rushing into any U.S. extradition yet, because he is facing serious charges in the Philippines. And by law, he must stand trial and, if convicted, serve his sentence locally first. Only then would extradition even be considered. But behind the official line, the situation feels a little more complicated. Quiboloy isn't just any defendant. He has a loyal following, a media network, and a long history of political connections. Moving too quickly could stir backlash or unrest among his supporters, something the government may be trying to avoid. And there's another reality. In the US, he is facing harsher charges: sex trafficking, visa fraud, money laundering, with possible life sentences and no easy exits.
Great.
In the Philippines, legal proceedings can stretch for years. Appeals, delays, negotiations. It's a very different fight. President Marcos Jr. has publicly promised there will be no special treatment, but whether extradition happens next or much, much later is still an open question. And that's where the story stands. The man who once claimed to control earthquakes, storms, and even the end of the world is now waiting for a very human judgment. What do you think about this case? How did a man with so many scandals hold so much power for so long? And most importantly, do you believe justice can be truly served when the person on trial is as powerful as Apollo Quiboloy? Let me know in the comments below. That is all for today. Thanks for watching.
Apollo Quiboloy, you dirt. You are a dirt stain to this world. I'm glad they got you. For some reason, I don't believe they're going to do anything to him in the Philippines. For some reason, for some odd reason, I believe he's going to go scot-free. I believe they're going to have him comfortable over there until the extradition. I pray there is a quick extradition. I need him extradited. Oh my goodness. I will pour champagne and I'll make probably a whole day video on him. Like, yeah, I want to so bad, man. This guy's an idiot. Everybody supporting him as an idiot. His followers are so blind that they defend a molester like a essayer. Like, are you serious right now? Past presidents defending him, pieces of shit, all of you. That senator is a junkie anyway. I don't care. I don't care even to talk to him. Looks like a rat. Who else, man? Who else needs this smoke? Quiboloy, all those that fought for him that are in the hospital, man, I don't care if you die of infections. I don't care. Bro, for the kids, bro, for the kids that were molested by this piece of shit, you all could die from infections. I don't care. I hope the police that got injured should they're brave. They are the heroes, not this piece of shit. For the senator to say that rubs me the wrong way. They are the heroes. They deserve treatment. And I hope Quiboloy is extradited, like something. He should extradite. He should be extradited so soon, face all his charges in the US, and die in Philippines. I mean, two good news if he's extradited and if he dies. So, waiting for either or. Thank you for watching. Yeah, don't be like him. Don't follow him. If you follow him, think twice about it. Listen to the survivors. Be on the right side of history, not with this piece of shit. Love you all so much. Check out our Discord. Like, share, subscribe. Love you all. Bye.
Tuned in, hit play, let's take a ride around the world with Steven, we worldwide. Stories so wild, they keep you hooked. Subscribe and share, come take a look. Reacting to the stories, the crazy, the real. With every new video, we bring the thrill. From mysteries to drama, we cover it all. Join the fam, let's have a ball. From dark tales to